Hi, everybody. Tom Tiberi, joined by the one and only Justin Zwick. We are on the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. And first of all, you're a frequent flyer to this thing. It's absolutely amazing. And what would your message be for Buckeye Nation fans that love the Buckeyes? This is a must-do, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my 17th year. The amount of new family members I've kind of met over the years is amazing. You get on this boat, people get hooked. You're curing cancer. You're doing the right thing, and it's a special place. It's a lot of special people, and we want you here. We need you here, and we love to have you.
All right, let's talk about a little Buckeye football. Of course, Coach Day's here. The general manager, Mark Pantoni, is here. I know you were at the conversation we had last night. We're not going to get into some of the particulars, but it was pretty neat. And I think the common theme is that right now, with the rules they have, Ohio State, they clearly know what they're doing. And I think that getting older, this was by design. A lot of guys went into the transfer portal, but they also brought in 20 guys out of the portal, and they got older in a year.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job of really knowing what they wanted to go after when the whole NIL ordeal started, and kind of just changing with the times. And we saw this year with the Indiana team and what they've kind of done with the older group, the older players, people that are contributing on the field. It's just harder and harder to find where that money goes and who it goes to. So they're doing a great job, and they always do a great job in just everything that goes on. Whether it was the amount of snaps that these guys are taking throughout the year. We're going to play slower, so we're fresher towards the end of the year. I mean, they think about everything, and they're changing. And this NIL, structure outfit is changing all the time, and they're evolving with it. So Mark Pantoni is the best in the game, and I know he's going to have us going in the right direction.
The one thing you think about it, and my number one takeaway was the amount of time Mark Pantoni and his staff spend now, not only looking at high school players, but looking at the transfer portal and looking at potential talent. You don't know who's going to go into the portal every year, but you got to be ready for it.
You got to be ready. I remember talking with Mark during camp. We went down to practice, and he was telling me 13 hours a day he's watching film, whether it's the high school kids or the new guys or people that may be going into the portal. Because when you're bringing somebody in from the portal or you're going to get a 5-star, you're investing nowadays a lot of money into those guys. So you got to make sure you are dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's when you bring somebody in. And he and his staff, I mean, they're relentless at it. They're looking at all the time. Now with the portal only being one a year, maybe it slows down a little bit for them, but they're always going to be looking, ahead to see what they can do to help the Buckeyes.
The other big thing, Arthur Smith is now the offensive coordinator. This guy is very good when it comes to the run offense. That's not to say that he doesn't. The guy was a head coach in the National Football League. He knows what
he knows doing. A little bit more than the run game, but it's going to be a good addition.
But with that said, you played the position quarterback, and you look at the game today. You look at what the National Football League has got going now, and the bottom line is, if you're going to be a quarterback in the NFL, if you're going to be a quarterback in college football, you're going to have to run every once in a while.
You're going to have to now. You can always go back to the Tom Brady's and Peyton Manning's. They didn't do a whole lot of it, but at certain times they did. It's just something that, as a quarterback can give the offense that, maybe isn't expected. And Julian was able to do that a little bit last year, and he was a young kid trying to figure things out. But there was times on 3rd and 4, he'd go pick that up. And, if we can incorporate that a little bit, people love it. It puts stress on the defense. Arthur Smith coming in, the amount of experience he has, being a head coach in the NFL, being an assistant coach in the NFL, offensive coordinator, him matched with Ryan, who I think is an awesome play caller. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun to watch what this offense does here, coming into the fall.
And I think that Julian's going to be a year older, and we all know age matters, and I think that's going to benefit him. But I think he might have got a little flustered in the game against Miami, in the game against Indiana. They did some things. I'm sure that will make him only better this year coming in, and he's got all the right attitude. This guy can't wait to get out there, and he's got a little bit of an edge to him.
Yeah, every new thing that was thrown at him throughout the regular season, he really knocked out of the park. Then we get into a couple tough games, which they were close games against the two teams that played for the national championship, so they were good as well. And that's just kind of how things go sometimes. But Julian, had a little bit more of an off season this year. I think last year we played so late, and then spring ball started. So I don't think there's a lot of time for him to kind of hit the gym as he probably wanted to. But this year I think he has. He's filled out a little bit, and he's just going to be a year older, a year more experience. Going through those tough times the last couple of games are going to be very good for him in a way, because he's going to learn so much from them, and it's moving forward. I think he's going to take everything. It's going to be. He was a Heisman finalist year number 1. I expect him to be back in New York come at the end of next season.
All right, last thing. As I mentioned, nearly 20 guys in the portal they bring in. Winter conditioning is underway. Spring practice is just around the corner. I would argue that this winter conditioning, because this is untreaded waters for Ohio State, is going to be crucial. Coach Mick, this is when the team bonding is. This is when the team really, this is when all the hard work is done.
Yep.
And when the team really comes together, to me, it's going to be crucial this year with the number of new faces and older guys we're talking.
Yeah, they've gotten somewhat used to it because we've brought guys in the last couple of years, but the amount, just showing them what a workout at Ohio State looks like, because it's going to be different than what they were used to where they came from. The addition of Schlags back into the weight room, I think, is huge for the Buckeyes. He's going to bring tons of juice and get the guys ready. But yeah, this now is the time for that strength staff to really mold these guys, put them through as much as they can, make sure they're still fighting through everything, and going about it the way they need to, and then getting them ready for that first spring practice, which is right around the corner.
He is the one and only Justin Zwick. You heard what he said to start this. If you're a Buckeye fan out there, next year will be the 20th anniversary, and it's going to be a special one. But if you're a Buckeye fan, you want to be on this Buckeye Cruise. Check out Jay-Z on 10 TV, 10 TV Plus, and 97.1 The Fan.